He's been in Congress since 1987. I'm not going to go into all his accomplishments by any means, but he was and is an influential member of the Ways and Means Committee, one of the most powerful groups in the House of Representatives, and he's done a great deal to improve our area and to contribute to the nation and contribute to the civility of the political process. I honestly believe that. I've told Amo this many times. I think he drew the bad straw because actually in the time I was there was a spirit of bipartisanship and cooperation between people regardless of their party. And things became a little bit more strident, but not because of Amo. Amo has been the voice in the entire Senate and House for bringing people together and respecting people's views. And for that, we really appreciate everything that you've done.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Raleigh. Thank you, Greg, for letting me be here. I mean, I don't think I've been here before. I mean, I've been in the other part, but I haven't been here. Extraordinary job that you've done here. What a great testimony to Robert Jackson. I've told this story before, but you'll have to bear with me because I really think that you've asked the wrong person to come here. You should really have asked Stan to talk about what he's done, not only as in Congress, but also in terms of his position as the Lieutenant Governor. I used to travel a lot, as my friends over here from Corning remember, and I came back one night to the house, and my youngest daughter, Quincy, who was sort of a strenuous gal, said, "You haven't been here, you haven't helped me, you haven't helped me with my arithmetic, you haven't helped me in my baton twirling preparation for the basketball game." And so I said, "Well, you know, I just have to work. I mean, people don't come to Corning, it's a small town, you got to go out and see the customers." And so she went on this way, and my wife finally said, "Look, Quincy, your father has to work hard, he's a good man, he's a model father." And so Quincy says, "What's model?" And I said, "Well, if you're so smart, go look it up in the dictionary." So she did. She came back and she said, "Here it is, Dad, model, miniature replica of the real thing." I've always felt that I was that wrong to come here in the light of Stan being here. There is a humanity, I think, amongst politicians that I saw in business, but I didn't see as much of it. There is a recognition of the people on the elevators, or the staff people, or the policemen. There is a human touch which goes between the people they're dealing with and themselves. I know that when I was first the chairman of Corning, we had something like, 45,000 stockholders. That was a long time ago. But now, I've got 700,000 stockholders. And you can't delegate. You can't delegate to the head of marketing or human relations. You got to do this thing yourself. So there's a humanity that I've seen, and there's an awful lot of problems in congressmen and senators that they hurt themselves. They come back and say, "Well, we're trying to do the best thing we possibly can." But Congress is a bunch of bums and they're spendthrifts and things like that. And you wouldn't do this in business. You don't wash your linen in public. But I'm afraid this is what happens. And of course, you see it during this horrible electoral season, which we've seen now, the worst I think I've ever seen. I'm a moderate, and God knows what a moderate is. I have absolutely no idea. What does John Ashcroft said? Middle of the roader is nothing but roadkill. maybe that's what it is. But I grew up with Thomas Dewey and Dwight Eisenhower and Nelson Rockefeller and people like that. Moderates really are people who are willing to band and to work with others. I always remember Peter Gomes, who was the professor of theology at Harvard and was the head of the memorial chapel down there, and I was asking him about some of these very hard right people, particularly in the Christian church. And he said, well, you know, the essence of Christianity is love, but a sub-essence is the willingness to say, I may be wrong. And I think, in a way, that's what a moderate is. They're willing, well, you know, we may not be right here, but we think we're moving in the right direction. Also, they're able to work both sides. You cannot do things as a single party. And even when the Democrats were in total control of both houses, you can't do things in one party. I mean, if we're going to face the situation of Medicare and Social Security, one party can't handle it. It's too hot. It's radioactive. You can't do it. And that's what I think moderates are. Stan was a moderate, and I think I'm a moderate. And I only wish there were more people who would stand up and insist on something like this. We had a bipartisan group several years ago, headed by this guy Tim Romer, you know, Stan, who was on the 9/11 Commission. And we would sit down and, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 things we could all agree on. And then we went back to our respective bosses, never could agree. They never could get together. I don't think that's the way this country is supposed to work. I mean, I happen to think that religion is very important as far as the Middle East is concerned. I'm working with a group of Jewish rabbis and Muslim mullahs and Christian priests to see what we can do over there. I know it's difficult, and I know it's sensitive, and I know you can't superimpose it. But why should I, as a Christian, I always remember going to South Africa one time, and the priest said in Cape Town, what are you, I'm a Baptist, I'm Methodist? I said, I'm an Episcopalian. He said, oh, you're part of the chosen frozen. Anyway, it's part of the chosen frozen. I don't know why I can't believe as I do, as long as I don't try to superimpose it upon other people. That's the thing, is that, I mean, I hope I'm not offending anybody here, but you know, you got to be able to band. I mean, I cannot believe that if I'm arguing with somebody who believes he's got a direct line to the Lord, then I'm at a disadvantage. Because I don't. But I got to be able to express my feeling. And the only thing I asked him is don't be judgmental about me. So it's a sort of a messy type of thing, but it's got to be part of life. It is part of life. And if it's part of life, it's got to be part of politics. The final thing I have to say is that, as somebody once said, I forget if it was Robert Frost or something, America is promises. And we have such an extraordinary country. And I think one of the great failures that I felt about some of the things I've done, I haven't been able to encourage enough people to get into the political arena themselves. And we need more good people. E.E. Cummings used to say, one is not part of two, two are parts of one. And I really believe that in terms of our political system. And again, a quote from John Gardner, and again my hero, and I hope you'll bear with me here. Freedom and obligation, liberty and duty, that's the deal, and may we never forget it. Thank you.
Thoughts and ideas with us. Thank you very much.
If Stan had not made a decision around to Lieutenant Governor, I never would be here at all. So it's all his fault. Well, great speakers.